Hello and welcome to Blender Bite Size. In this video I'll be showing you how to make this material procedurally in Blender. Feeling lazy? You can support this channel and skip the hard work by grabbing the blend file for this material from Gumroad for just £1. Feeling flush? Feel free to throw some of that coin my way using the coffee link in the description below the video. Okay, let's make a start on this candle wax material. I've actually got a low resolution icosphere loaded this time because this tends to work well at picking out edges of things or thinner areas. So we'll make a start. I'm in the shading tab. I've got my object loaded and I've got viewport shading enabled and the cycles render engine also chosen. I need to get rid of the principled BSDF and load in a couple of others. So we're going to go for a subsurface scattering. So Shift A and search for all these. We're going to go for a glossy and a diffuse. And we need a couple of mix shaders to bring all of these together. So that's going to go into the surface. This shader is going to go in here. Subsurface scattering is going to go in the top slot. And then these two are going to go in here. Oh, I put them the weird way around, so let's just move them so that makes more sense. Right, let's make a couple of changes here first of all. We're going to go for Christensen Burley. And then we're going to change the index of refraction to 1.442. That's the minimum for wax. You can look those up online. We're going to change the color via something else in a minute, so we'll get onto that. Actually, although I change these around, I am going to change them back because otherwise we're going to get in a mess on this side. The glossy roughness, we're going to go for 0.1. And the diffuse roughness we'll leave at 0. And both of these colors, again, we're going to change elsewhere. So for that, we need to add an RGB selector. In fact, we'll need 2 of those. And in between those, we're going to put an ambient occlusion node. Now we do need a mix RGB node to mix a couple of things together. And that would be the color from here and the color from the ambient occlusion. The color from this top RGB selector is going to go into the subsurface scattering and the glossy, and then the color from this mix shader is going to go into the diffuse slot. For this top one, we're going to go for basically a white color. We'll leave this color as white as well, and then for this color we're going to go for a quite bright yellow. Now to control this mix shader, we're going to bring in something else, and that's a Fresnel node. Change the index of refraction to 1 and plug the factor from that into the factor of this mix shader, and you can already see we've got a nice soft subtle wax going on. And I think that's about it. Yes. I wonder if it'll help if I shove a light behind here. Let's just quickly do that. Shift A, light. Let's use a point light. Bring it back a bit. And then in the control panel, Let's do something stupid like 1000 watts. And look at the shading. You can see it's making a difference around the base. We're getting that sort of pink tinge, but because it's quite a thick object, not much is happening elsewhere. Let's just move it a little bit. Let's, where is it? Okay. Oops. Nope, need to go back there. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it closer. Let's bring it across a bit. Let's increase the radius. Let's increase the wattage. I didn't increase it, I decreased it. I think you can see where it's skimming. It's giving that sort of subtle translucency, and that's kind of happening elsewhere as well. So I think we'll go with that. And let's render it out. Just to remind you, using the Cycles render engine, 1000 samples. Actually, what I might do for the light paths is increase those. 16, 16, total 16. And let's chuck that through and see what we get. Okay, it's good, but I'm going to do a couple of things. Just because I noticed it was still very slow when it got to 1000 samples, I am going to increase that to 4000. What I'm also going to do is actually muck around with this light. So first, what I'll do is edit the let's put candle in inverted commas. I don't want proportional editing, thank you. Let's just drop that right into the center. And let's move that light source. So if I reset that, bring it over, and bring it up. So like a candle would be, you would have the flame sort of within the wax. And let's send that to render and see what we get. Okay, now believe it or not, that took 8.5 minutes to render that out. I think I went a bit crazy with the light paths and the samples, but it did give a wonderfully sort of gradiated light as a candle wax would. So there you go. I hope you found this useful. Try it with less samples and see how you get on. If you've enjoyed it, please remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. In the meantime, thanks for watching.